Roman tradition begins with two newborn twins, abandoned on the Tiber and nursed by a she-wolf. This story records the brutal baseline of the city's identity. It is a myth defined by the raw struggle for dominance. The brothers eventually restored their grandfather to his throne, then set out to build their own city. But a dispute over the location ended when Remus mockingly jumped over his brother's new walls. In a rage, Romulus slayed his brother, declaring that anyone who crossed his walls would suffer the same fate. Traces of an 8th century BCE settlement have been found on the Palatine Hill, providing a physical anchor for where this legend took place. Rome's birth was recorded in blood. This origin story served as a reminder that great power can be forged through ambition, but that same drive can easily turn inward, destroying even a brother. Following Romulus, Rome was ruled by 6 more kings, each providing a different model for how to use absolute authority. King Numa Pompilius focused on stability through religious law. He prioritized piety and internal order over the expansion of territory. Numa kept the doors of the Temple of Janus closed for his entire reign. This acted as a clear sign to neighboring states that Rome was at peace. His successor, Tullus Hostilius, took the opposite path. He ignored religious traditions and waged constant war, eventually obliterating the city of Alba Longa. When Tullus finally reached out to the gods for help, Jupiter answered with a lightning bolt that burned his palace to the ground. These 2 reigns established a civic lesson. While military strength expanded the borders, a total dismissal of moral order could lead to the king's destruction. By the latter half of the monarchy, the nature of ambition in the royal household changed from civic leadership to a pursuit of personal control. The king Servius Tullius was murdered in a coup, orchestrated by his own daughter, Tullia, and her husband. In an act of public desecration, Tullia drove her chariot directly over her father's body in the street. This violence brought Lucius Tarquinius Superbus, or Tarquin the Proud, to power. Tarquin consolidated his rule through fear, murdering senators who disagreed with him and ruling without the consent of the people. Tarquin's reign showed that when political violence is used to take a throne, it becomes the primary tool used to keep it. The monarchy finally reached a limit when Tarquin's son assaulted a noblewoman named Lucretia. Lucretia took her own life to save her honor. Her death broke the remaining trust between the Roman people and their rulers. Her personal tragedy became a public rallying cry, turning a quiet resentment against Tarquin into an open revolt. This moral outrage provided the shared purpose needed to challenge and remove a sitting dictator. The patriot leader, Lucius Junius Brutus, finally turned the city's boiling anger into an organized rebellion against the royal family. Under the motto, "Freedom or Death," the Romans expelled the Tarquins in 509 BCE and swore an oath to never be ruled by a king again. The word rex, meaning king, became a permanent slur in Roman culture, associated with the very tyranny they had just escaped. To prevent the return of absolute rule, they created a republic. This system shared executive power between 2 equal consuls who were elected annually. This design prevented any one leader from acting without the check of a peer, ensuring that authority required constant negotiation. This transition away from monarchy defined the next 500 years of Roman history and helped shape the democratic values used in modern republics. The story of Rome's kings suggests that while one person can found a city through force, a civilization only endures when power is balanced by law and the consent of its citizens.